So Derek Chauvin, the piece of shit cop that murdered George Floyd, R.I.P. His trial is next Monday, and we've talked this thing upside, inside, outside, all the way through. But as the trial is getting closer and closer, the one thing that we were curious about was jury selection. So there's an article that's come out that's came out, and they're speaking to the jury. So, jury of 12, right? The jury will consist of 4 white women, 3 black men, 2 multiracial women, 2 white men, 1 black woman, and 3 alternates in case any of the chosen jurors can't participate. Right? So they were really having a difficult time naturally because they wanted to select jurors that their judgment wouldn't be clouded. There's so much evidence about this case that was in the media, body cam footage, bystander footage, the marching, people who were protesting. Like, if you were breathing, you knew this was going on, and you formulated an opinion. One guy that they had to dismiss said that he was living in George Floyd's neighborhood, and cops used to drive through there, blasting "Another One Bites the Dust." What the fuck? But even with all that, he's like, I can be impartial. And they were like, yeah, of course you can. So they obviously cut him.
Right.
But I got to be honest with you. None of these jurors are impartial. I'm sorry.
Like, how are you going to find somebody who hasn't seen the footage or hasn't heard about it or hasn't heard about a protest? Because these protests, this George Floyd thing went worldwide. So you got to explain to me. I mean, they found people. Lo and behold, they found people. But if part of the criteria was finding people who weren't biased based on seeing that kind of footage, I'm like, damn, where did you go? Where did you go?
They must have got some newborn babies. Like, honestly. And then just to quickly speak to their defense, Chauvin's defense, they wanted to speak to his health and that he had drugs in his system. I guess they're gonna try to say, I guess the pressure or whatever that he was putting on his neck, I don't know, right? On his neck, like a healthy person, a person not on drugs wouldn't have perished. I don't know, right? Like, we're gonna have to wait till Monday. But this is the angle they're trying to play up. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess you gotta shoot your shot, right? But this nigga's looking at like 50 years. And if he goes in for 50 years, I can guarantee you he's going to be in protective custody. He's going to be in PC the whole 50. Because there's no way he is going to gen pop. He ain't going to make it. It doesn't matter if there's some Aryan brothers in there who's like, good job, brother, we got your... Hell no. He ain't lasted. Trust me on that. So it'll be PC all the way. But, I
mean, as far as the defense, it's like... so apparently there was another incident that happened with George Floyd in 2019 that the judge has allowed into this case, where he was previously arrested, and the situation was the cops were going to confront him, and he ingested some painkillers like real quick before they got to him, and then there's footage of that, and then he got arrested for whatever it was that the misdemeanor was that he got arrested for. So they're allowing this body cameras footage because they're saying it shows a method of operation. I forget what the actual Latin term is. I think it's operanda modernis or something like that, where it shows how somebody acts when they're confronted with a certain situation. Like, we all have habitual reactions to certain situations, right? So what they're trying to establish is that this is a pattern where he has drugs, where he's usually confronted by the cops. He might ingest some drugs that might affect his behavior. It might result in him needing more restraint than the average person. It might result in him also losing his breath a little bit sooner because his body internally is affected by this. So that's the defense that they're going with. It's a good question to ask, but it doesn't require his knowledge, because he got charged with second degree and third degree murder, right? These things don't involve intent. They don't include intent. That's first degree.
Right.
So he didn't have to have prior knowledge of the person's mental status. It's simply a matter of a fact of, was it the fact that his knee was on this man's neck
that killed him,
caused him to die?
Else?
That's it. He doesn't have to know anything prior before that. So that's what comes with those charges, And of course, the third degree charge, I'm sure you were going to touch on this as well, was just recently officially added to the list of charges because that was under scrutiny whether or not they were going to accept it or decline that one, which is great for the prosecutor. More charges.
I mean,
you have,
yeah, it gives you more
chance
targets.
you have a
Like you
conviction.
gotta, yeah, you gotta exactly. It gives you a better chance to hit something, right? But at the end of the day, we all have eyes. We all know what we saw. But you know what? I'm not a legal mind, so let's see what happens on Monday, and it's gonna be, I guess, interesting to say the least. All I'm saying is, if you're in that neighborhood, be safe. Again, what say you people? Leave it in the comments. Yeah, that's fuckery.